think we're good to go on the YouTube. All right, let me put this on the record. All right, the court is calling cause number 2013 DCM 1570. Oh, sorry, 2013 DCM 1570. This is a hearing on the motion filed by the Attorney General's office, a motion to modify and to confirm child support arrearage. The parties in this case are Christian Andrade and Myra Mares, who are at this time the case is being called. Only Ms. Mares is present before me. Let the record reflect that this matter was scheduled for a final hearing today, May 4th at 1 o'clock. We're doing this hearing via a Zoom application since we cannot appear in court due to the current pandemic crisis that's going on in our community. However, the Supreme Court of the State of Texas, Council of Judges, and Office of Court Administration have permitted us to conduct our hearings remotely, and we're doing so on the Zoom application. And further, in compliance with the Texas Rules of Civil Procedure, this matter is being live streamed on the YouTube channel. That is to comply with the open records provision in our statutes that we have to keep our courts open to the public. However, as soon as this hearing is concluded, that live stream will be taken off the YouTube channel. I'm also recording the evidence on the computer-generated system. That is the official record of our proceedings here today. Let the record reflect that Mr. Christian Andrade was served with citation, and according to the return on file, he was served on January the 25th of this year here in El Paso, Texas. There appears to be no response filed by Mr. Andrade, and at this time the case is being called. He is not present. The return does appear to be in proper form, so I will take judicial notice of the return on service. As indicated, I'm recording the evidence on our computer center, record keeping, and I'll ask parties not to talk over each other, conduct themselves as if they were in court. All that being said, then those are general rules that apply in every single case. And at this time, I'll ask the Attorney General, Mr. Knopf, to make an announcement on this case. You ready to proceed, Mr. Knopf?
Yes, Your Honor. Douglas Knopf for the state of Texas. We're requesting to proceed on a default hearing.
All right. And Ms. Mares, are you ready to proceed today, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
All right. I can have you raise your right hand so I can swear you in. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, God. You may lower your hand. Mr. Knopf, go ahead. Present your case, sir.
At this time, the state offers as Exhibit 1 our updated notice sent to Mr. Andrade regarding this case. Copies have been sent to the court via email as well as to Ms. Mares so she could inspect the document. This email address was sent to the last known email address on file provided to my agency by Mr. Andrade. It includes the relevant cause number, Zoom logon information, date, time, alternate phone line link, everything he would need to appear today and participate in this hearing if he so wanted. State requests that Exhibit 1 be entered into evidence.
All right, Exhibit 1 will be admitted into evidence. It is improper notice to Mr. Andrade and how to log into the system. We'll take, I'll admit Exhibit number 1.
State will offer as Exhibit number 2 our updated financial activity report. We did attach a copy of this report with our pleadings, and updated copies have been sent to all parties present via email. State requests that Exhibit 2 be entered into evidence subject to Section 157.161, subsection C of the Texas Family Code.
All right. The updated financial report has been provided to the court. It has been attached as identified as being Exhibit 2, the updated financial report. And for the record, does show Mr. Andrade has been making payments. And as of, it shows that an arrearage as of April 30th of this year, $1,686.35. The updated financial report will be admitted into evidence. All right, go ahead, Mr. Pinal.
State calls Ms. Myra Mares. Ma'am, could you please state your name for the court?
Mayra Mares.
And what are the names of your children before the court today?
Diego Andrade, Sofia Andrade, y Paulo Andrade.
What are their ages?
Diego is 17, Sofia is 16, and Paulo is 9.
Was Mr. Andrade previously ordered to pay support for these children?
Yes,
Has he subsequently fallen behind in his payments?
sometimes yes, but not always.
Based on the arrearage figure that was recited by the judge, does that amount sound correct for the amount he's fallen behind?
I believe so.
Has he ever paid you anything directly that wouldn't have come through the state disbursement unit?
No, never.
Has he had possession of any of the children for longer than a month at a time beyond what was ordered in the divorce decree?
No.
Do you know where Mr. Andrade is working right now?
He is self-employed right now. I
Do you
believe
know
he
any-
has car carriers. I don't know how many, but around 3 to 4, I believe. I'm not sure.
And was he in that same line of work back at the divorce decree?
Correct.
Do you know what he makes at that job?
No idea.
Do you know if he has any outside sources of income besides the regular working job?
I do not know.
Do you know if he's had any kids since the time of the prior order?
Not that I know of.
Has your health insurance situation changed at all since the time of the prior order?
Yes.
Could you
Do you want
please
me to explain? Okay.
Yes, please.
I had CHIP insurance up to last year because I was trying to open up a business before COVID, and my CPA told me to cancel my CPA, and the lawyer told me to cancel any kind of government help because I was going to be requesting for a loan for my business. But then it obviously backed up for a year because of COVID, and so they were uninsured for the whole year. I was asking him to help me with the insurance while I do this business, and he barely got insurance to them finally in January. So
So when
he
you
is
say him-
currently providing insurance.
Apologies.
sorry.
So when you say him, you mean Mr. Andrade?
Yes, correct.
So he's presently providing health insurance coverage for the children,
Yes,
and that's a new development.
yes.
Are you seeking to have Mr. Andrade continue to cover the children through his health insurance going forward?
That would be great, yes.
Do you know if he obtained that through his employer or a private market source?
I believe he got it through a private market because he is self-employed, and he added himself in the insurance.
And did he communicate to you at all what the cost of maintaining that insurance was?
No.
And typical of these court orders is to include your contact information, such as home phone, home address. Would you be okay with that information being included for you, or would it be necessary to redact that for any reason?
No, that's fine.
Similarly, once the judge pronounces an order in this case, it'll be my job to draft the black and white text of the document. Would you need a chance to review and sign off on that document, or would you be okay with me submitting it directly for the judge's signature?
I'll be okay with you and send it directly to the judge.
All right, make sure that I'm hitting all my high points. I think so. At which point, Judge, no more questions for this witness. State will rest subject to brief close and recommendations.
Okay. Ms. Mares, the last order was a decree of divorce in your case?
Yes. Oh, if I requested it, you mean?
No, was that the last order that's,
Oh, yes.
okay. Do you know where he was working at the time that, you all got divorced, divorced back in 2014?
He had his own business. I believe back then it was called Fast Lane Car Carriers.
Okay.
And from what I know of, I think he changed the name though, but I'm not, I know he's in the same industry.
Okay. Do you know what his income is now as compared to what it was then?
I have no idea, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
I know when we got divorced, he only had one car carrier, and I believe he has a few more. That's something I do know. I don't know how many, but I know he's been buying more.
Okay, you mentioned car carrier. What is that? What kind of business is that?
It's the trucks that you carry the cars and that they drive them to one city to another.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
okay. And let's see. All right, any other questions, Mr. Knaus or Ms. Mattis?
Nothing for this
No,
witness.
no, sir.
Okay.
Well, actually, I do. Whenever this is already completed, are the details on who is supposed to cover the insurance and all the you have to pay some, like when you go to the office, $20 or an emergency $60, or how does that work? Will that come like very detailed explained so we can know how it's going to work?
Yes,
Yeah.
the typical order that we get nowadays is that it does designate somebody who is going to provide the health insurance for the children. Okay? And in that order, it also provides that he has to provide, let's say it's Mr. Andrade who is supposed to provide the health insurance, then he has to provide you all the information concerning that health insurance, including ID cards, statement of benefits, and all that. And also provides, makes provision for what we call any unreimbursed medical expenses, which is what you're talking about. Any
Mhm.
pocket expenses that is not covered on health insurance, that's what we term uninsured, unreimbursed medical expenses.
Okay.
Order in that situation would be that he would have to help out with 50%, half and half of those expenses. But you need
Okay.
to let him know what those expenses were. Like, for example, any co-pays or anything like that. You do need to
Okay.
know. Dare go to the hospital, to the doctor. There's $20 co-pay that I have to pay. You have to help me with $10 and give him written notice of those unreimbursed medical expenses.
Okay.
Typical order that we do in every case nowadays.
So that's something I work directly with him.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Knopf, what is the state's recommendation on this matter?
State will recommend that the primary child support obligation be left as it was in the prior divorce decree. Mr. Andrade was served with this petition. He knew he could have shown up, offered testimony as to his wages. There was a discovery request built in with that petition. He could have provided us documentation of his wages. Absent that, I think that the primary child support obligation needs to be left pursuant to that previous order. That's $15,000 or $1,500 a month for 3 children, stepping down to $1,250 for 2 children and
I
$1,000
wish.
for the third. However, there has been a material change of circumstance about how insurance is provided for these children, and thus the state is going to request that he be ordered to continue covering the cost of the health insurance for the children going forward. Again, we've solicited testimony about the cost. He was served and asked to provide documentation as to that. He's chosen not to do so, so I don't think he's until he can prove it, he should really be receiving any offsets for the cost of covering that insurance until we know what the cost actually is. State will likewise request that there be a judgment on the past due arrears as of the end of April in the amount of $1,686.35 and a payback rate set on that at a rate of $60 per month to begin as of June 1st, 2021 and continuing monthly thereafter until the full amount is paid down. We also request that Mr. Andrade bear the cost of court in this matter because it's his non-payment of support, which is why we have to file to confirm arrears, why we're here in the first place. Ms. Matas has approved direct submission of the order, and I don't think there's any need for non-disclosure in this case.
All right, so to summarize, child support remains as previously ordered in the divorce decree. We didn't change that. That's the recommendation. Mr. Andrade provide the health insurance for the children and tender proof of that coverage to Ms. Matas. And as indicated before, anything that's not covered on health insurance is to be split 50-50 and give him notice as to those charges. We'll go ahead and confirm the arrearage as of April 30th, end of April, to be $1,686.35. I will further order that Mr. Andrade pay that judgment off at a rate of an additional $60 until that arrearage has been paid off. Payments commence on June 1 of this year. Okay. So child support remains as was set out in the divorce decree. No changes were proven up. Confirm the arrears in order that he provide the health insurance. Okay, Ms. Mares, do you have any questions?
No, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Knopf will go ahead and prepare the order as I have just issued it right now. He'll send it to me through what we call the DocuSign application. I will sign it. The order will then come with the clerk's office and copies will be sent to the parties. Is there anything else that I haven't addressed, Mr. Knopf?
I believe that's everything.
All right. Ms. Maris, any questions or anything else that needs to be addressed? I think she froze. Did you have any questions, Ms. Maris?
Internet is kind of cut off.
I know sometimes the internet goes away.
Oh, there we go. I got it. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Okay. So Mr. Knopf will go ahead and prepare the order. That will conclude our hearing for today. Thank you for your participation today, Ms. Maris. That concludes the hearing. You're free to go, ma'am.
Thank you so much for your help. Thank you. Have a great
Thank you.
day.
You too. Be